So I just want to talk about the start of the A-bomb wing here for the deduction run that happened a couple days ago. Some interesting things to talk about. First of all, just the amount of damage that these slimes do. It's often a little bit unexpected. Would really recommend using Prayer of Heals throughout this. Line of sight is a big issue in this area, and this is where Alliance can shine. So Effect just got owned there. He was half health going into this, and I think he forgot that he wasn't the main tank for a second, or he just dies. So this is a time where you want to press Taunt, and Taunt was just not pressed by anyone, so Rip Ripperino Effect. But yeah, interesting death there. Just boom boom dead. Within under a second, he got back-to-back melee hits. So that's why there's a death there, and then we'll just continue forward a bit. Standard stuff where they just pull the slimes back. So this is where it gets interesting. The hunter's pulling a couple mobs in advance. Early, it's kind of nice to get these patrols out of the way so you don't have to worry about them later. So that's exactly what they're doing, clearing out all the patrols. It's a whole bunch of Belchers, which is nice. This is probably a fished ID, I think. Not 100% certain on that. But anyways, it's a really good idea in terms of how many Belchers are in here. So for pack, this is a tough pack because you're pulling it from a distance. That means that you're more likely to get mechanics. You're not instantly killing things. It takes a couple seconds. And that's what kind of happens here. That first mob gets killed really quick. Everyone's focusing that. They're not really cleaving, hitting everything at once. And now 3 mobs are going to be alive. At least one of them doesn't have demo on it. One resisted on moon resist. And it just destroys these guys again. Abnail had already lost buffs before that. Same with, we just saw Fex death, so not the end of the world, but then this was really strange. So let's just listen to the comms for a second because this is kind of funny. If you can hear the comms. A little quiet.
Turn square.
Attack totem.
We got a totem.
What the
Yeah, auto ran. Pick it up.
Alright, pick up the
So good recovery there. People didn't freak out too much. You heard over the comms totem. That was the key. And killed the monstrosity. Bear had clear comms there. So all that mattered was Skull dying quickly. And then you see one hero that, look at this absolute legend. I had to look it up to see who it was because just big respect for this. That one warrior that instantly beelines to the totem in the back. Very good gameplay there. So it was Leary, as well as a couple mages came in clutch as finishing it up. So just showing that here, Fex death, back-to-back hits. And then Leary immediately BTing and just blasting down the totem within a second of Leary getting there. Kutir had started to scorch it and followed up with another mage using Fire Blast. So seeing that gameplay is really good from these guys. Just wanted to highlight that and just kind of the absurdity of what happens here. So explaining it now. The hunter auto-walked apparently. A little hard to tell from this point of view, but here the hunter's alive and apparently their like numpad key got stuck or something. So at least when I play World of Warcraft, when I press both buttons at the same time, that stops me from running and starts me to run again. I don't know if everyone has that, probably not, but for me it's very helpful in terms of positioning and knowing when to stop and start. So if you ever panic where you have your auto run that just keeps running, just find another button to press that isn't your auto run. Normally there's going to be a backup. So knowing that before you are a puller or a key role in the raid is probably important. Not going to flame them too much because, you know, things happen. Really good recovery overall. No one died from that besides 2 people that already lost their buffs on the start of the pull. So just something to mention. Never seen that pull before, and you never know what's going to happen in Naxx. So GG's.